and welcome to World Now on TVC News. Israel's war cabinet is weighing its response after Iran launched its largest ever attack on the country. This comes as Iran warned of broader strikes if Israel retaliates. 9 people have been reported dead after Israeli strike in central Beirut, with Israel signaling a broadening of its ground incursion in the country. We have details in this next story.
Iran launched a salvo of about 200 ballistic missiles at Israeli military targets, sending sirens blaring across Israel and activating the country's sophisticated defense systems. Israel's war cabinet is now weighing its options, and its ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon, says Tel Aviv would not sit idly by after Iran launched its largest ever attack on the country. Asked whether Israel is heeding U.S. President Joe Biden's message that Iran's nuclear site should not be targeted in Israel's looming response, Mr. Danon said, quote, "It should be the responsibility of the U.S. and other Western democracies to block Iran from achieving nuclear capabilities, otherwise it will be too late," end quote. Israel has also barred the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres from entering the country because he had not explicitly condemned Iran's missile attack on the country.
We are very disappointed from the Secretary General's approach. Let's look at the last year. After October 7th, the Secretary General put a very poor statement where he said that there is no vacuum. And some understood that he's justifying the atrocities of October 7th. After that, the UN never passed a resolution under his leadership condemning Hamas and the atrocities, not in the General Assembly, nor in the Security Council. And yesterday, when we are being attacked by a member state of the UN, 180 ballistic missiles, 10 million people running to shelters, the statement he put out basically calling for de-escalation, not mentioning Iran, not mentioning who is the aggressor, who is self-defending its people. That moral equation is detached from reality.
Meanwhile, Iran's military chief warned of broader strikes if Israel responds. People in Tehran are on edge, and fears of a wider all-out war between the two regional military powerhouses are growing. U.S. President Joe Biden said he does not support a potential Israeli attack on Iranian nuclear site.
And what we're doing in that regard is we're making it clear that there are things that have to be done. And it's obviously Iran has gone way it's way off court. We're kind of putting together a joint statement, hasn't been done yet. It'll be done before too long, probably by the time we land. And there's going to be some sanctions imposed on Iran.
Iran has now reopened its airspace to commercial flights after ordering it closed on Tuesday evening following its ballistic missile attack on Israel. The Israeli Defense Forces now says that overnight, its warplanes precisely struck the Bint Jebel municipality building in South Lebanon, in which Hezbollah terrorists were operating, alongside large quantities of Hezbollah weapons stored in the building. The IDF says as part of the strike, approximately 15 Hezbollah terrorists were killed. An Israeli strike in central Beirut killed at least 9 people on Thursday. It is the first time Israel has struck the area since 2006. Israeli strikes have killed more than 1,000 people in Lebanon and displaced about 1 million residents since it escalated its war with Hezbollah. The Lebanese Health Ministry confirmed the death toll and said 14 people were injured, with DNA tests underway to determine the identity of some of the remains. The strike hit the neighborhood of Bashura near the city's downtown. Israel announced a ground offensive in southern Lebanon earlier this week, and fighting is continuing in border areas. The Israeli military said 8 soldiers were killed in combat there on Wednesday. But according to Hezbollah, Israeli forces attempted to advance at the Fatima border crossing, but were confronted by Hezbollah fighters. The Israeli military is yet to confirm. The Fatima Gate is near Kafela on the Lebanese side and Metula on the Israeli side. It has been closed since Israeli troops withdrew from Lebanon in the year 2000. Several countries are now ramping up efforts to evacuate the nationals from Lebanon and urging those remaining to leave amid the escalating situation as Israel wages a ground offensive in the south of the country.